Hi, it's Steve from Parts Select. In this video, we'd like to share with you some tips on what to look for and what not to look for when cruising for curbside appliances. Now, the first appliance category that we'll talk about is an electric range. If it's a smooth top range, one of the first things you'll look at is the main top. Check for any signs of breakage or cracking, and if you find any, you should probably let that one go. With a coil top range, simply verify that all of the elements are there and that the drip bowls are in reasonable shape. Check the controls on the back panel. If you find any do not turn easily or perhaps are broken off, you may want to pass on that as well. Next, we'll open up the oven and check inside. Verify that the racks are still in place. Do a visual check of the broil element on the top and the bake element on the bottom. Some models of ranges use a hidden bake element, and that will not be as easy to verify. Now, with the refrigerator, there are a few things that we should look at. Check the inside to see if the shelving is still in place. As well as the gaskets. And keep in mind that these items may still be available at a reasonable cost. Now, one critical thing that you should look at is the machine compartment. That would be at the back, at the very bottom, and that's where your compressor is located. We should look for a line tap valve, which is a device that is used to test for a sealed system problem. If the line tap valve is still attached to the tubing, you should take a pass. Now, the next appliance we'll talk about is a front load washer. There are a couple of things that we should look at. Open up the door and check the door boot or bellows. Verify that it is in good condition, but don't get too hung up on it. They are replaceable parts. The most critical thing that we'll want to look at is the inner basket. Reach in and give it a spin. If it turns freely, that's a good indication. If there's a clunking sound or if there's excess movement in it, you should take a pass. Now we'll look at a top load washer. There isn't much that you can check visually on a top load washer. However, most components are easily repairable and readily available. Some things that we would want to look at are for signs of rust around the lid opening on the top or around the base. As well, you should move the inner tub around to ensure that the suspension is not broken. Now, with a gas range, we're going to look at similar items. Open up the oven. Verify that the racks are still in place. Check the oven bottom for any signs of excessive rust. Verify that all the controls are still in place and that the grates for the top are in place. Keep in mind that most of these components are typically still available at a reasonable cost. Now, with a clothes dryer, again, there are only a few things that we can really look at. Check the exterior. If you see any signs of excessive rust around the base or on the front, you may want to pass. As well, we'll want to check the top and the back of the dryer. If you see any signs of scorching due to high heat, again, you may want to take a pass. Next, we would open up the door and look inside. Check that the drum turns freely. Also inspect the back of the cavity to ensure that there is not excessive chipping along the back bulkhead or on the drum itself. Look for missing or damaged baffles, and again, keep in mind that these parts are typically reasonably priced and readily available. Now, the last category we'll look at is a dishwasher. Quite often, dishwashers get replaced simply because of a kitchen renovation, and the old one may be in good working condition. Some things that we'll want to look at is to first of all ensure that all of the components are there. Make sure that the lower access panel is still attached or inside of the dishwasher, and you'll also want to check the racks. Look for signs of excessive rust or corrosion on the tines of both the upper and lower racks. And although they are replaceable, sometimes they can be quite expensive, and you can base your decision on that. Thank you so much for watching. We certainly hope that the tips we've shared with you today will help you make a valued decision before you load that appliance into your vehicle. If you have any tips that you'd like to share, be sure to put them in the comments section below. And hey, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.